And these two have nothing. I think it's very telling, by the way. This sounds sinister, but you can't put anything past these two.
Yeah, a Hollywood insider says we're 2 years into Netflix and Meghan securing the rights to make this movie, and there's no director, no casting calls, no cast.
Prince Harry, enraged, embarrassed, and exposed. All because of three little words: His Royal Highness. The Dorian TV Awards said no. And the fallout? A full-blown royal meltdown, caught in HD, shared in memes, and roasted by Hollywood. Strap in. This is the royal ego crash no one saw coming, except maybe Meghan.
Yeah, a Hollywood insider says we're 2 years into Netflix and Meghan securing the rights to make this movie, and there's no director, no casting calls, no cast.
Harry, what do you think about destroying the royal family? Meghan, you destroyed the royal family!
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, where we break down the scandals, the spin, and the spectacle behind the headlines. Today we're diving into Prince Harry's latest Hollywood disaster, one that left him storming out, memes flying, and even Meghan reportedly staying far, far away. From royal demands to viral takedowns, this is one drama the palace can't spin. Let's get into it. Act 1. The ridiculous demand for get vegan menus or backstage drama. At the Dorian TV Awards, it wasn't catering or green room lighting that caused tension. It was a name, or more specifically, a title. According to multiple insiders, Prince Harry's team contacted the organisers with a very specific demand. He must be introduced as His Royal Highness Prince Harry. Not just Harry, not Duke of Sussex. They wanted the full royal package, the ceremonial fanfare, the prestige, and those three letters, HRH, that's it. That was the hill. The royal hill Harry's team chose to die on, because in their view, the title still matters. Even in Hollywood, a town that prides itself on reinvention, not royal lineage. But here's the problem, a big one. Harry legally gave up the use of the HRH title in 2020 when he and Meghan stepped down from royal duties. It wasn't just a symbolic gesture, it was written into the exit terms with Buckingham Palace. While he technically retains the title, he is not permitted to use it in any official or professional capacity. And the Dorian Awards? Well, they're professionals. They follow legal guidelines, PR standards, and contractual obligations. So when this royal request came in, it wasn't treated like royalty. It was treated like any other out-of-bounds demand. The organisers reviewed protocol, checked the facts, and made their decision. There would be no His Royal Highness in the evening's programme.
And these two have nothing. I think it's very telling, by the way. This sounds sinister, but you can't put anything past these two. I think they knew that the axe was about to drop.
Because in the entertainment industry, there's a simple rule. Status doesn't override structure. You can be a prince, but if it's not in the paperwork, it's not on the teleprompter. Hollywood doesn't care about crowns. It cares about contracts. And in this case, Harry's didn't come with the title he was clinging to. This wasn't a snub. It was a no-nonsense rejection of privilege. And it set the stage for a very public unraveling. Act 2. The cold rejection. This wasn't rebellion. This wasn't revenge. There were no angry emails, no dramatic phone calls, no secret backroom decisions. What happened was far more ordinary, and somehow far more humiliating. It was policy, a spreadsheet, a protocol. Just another line in an event rundown, treated like every other guest name being formatted for the night. And when it came to Prince Harry, the producers kept it simple, factual, and fully above board. Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex. That's it. That's what went in the programme. That's what went in the script. And that's what appeared on the screen. No His Royal Highness, no added flourish, no exception. Because the Dorian TV Awards weren't there to serve royal egos. They were there to celebrate television, storytelling, and the creators behind the content that moves culture forward. It wasn't about monarchy, it was about media. The producers didn't cave, didn't consult Buckingham Palace, and didn't waste time debating the semantics of a title Harry himself had agreed to stop using 5 years ago. They simply followed the facts. And the facts were clear. Harry may still be a duke, but the HRH treatment was no longer legally or professionally valid. To them, this wasn't controversial. It was just business. And while Harry's team might have expected Hollywood to roll out the red carpet in royal style, the Dorian team did something far more shocking. They treated him like everyone else. Because in a room full of boundary-pushing writers, groundbreaking performers, and viral media makers, royal titles don't hold the same weight. Influence comes from impact, not inherited status. The message was subtle, but unmistakable. You may have once been His Royal Highness, but here you're just a guest. And that quiet refusal, that spreadsheet-level decision, was the beginning of a very public unraveling. Act 3, the meltdown moment. The night had barely begun, but the tension was already heavy. Prince Harry arrived alone. No Meghan, no entourage, no shared spotlight, no smiling couple making headlines on the red carpet. Just Harry, in a perfectly tailored tux. Eyes low, posture stiff, trying, and failing, not to look rattled. Maybe it was nerves. Maybe it was anticipation. Or maybe it was the creeping realization that things weren't going the way his team had envisioned. Inside the ballroom, the lights dimmed. The music swelled. The host walked on stage, ready to introduce the night's high-profile attendees. And then the moment, the words that changed everything. Please welcome Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex. That was it. Short, correct. And most importantly, stripped of the royal gloss. No HRH, no His Royal Highness, just name, rank, reality. And in that instant, everything shifted. The smile, the one Harry uses for cameras and public appearances, vanished. Gone. His jaw clenched, his shoulders tensed, and his eyes? Ice cold. It was subtle, but it was unmistakable. The fury was real, and it was written all over his face. What he did next left everyone stunned. He didn't take a breath. He didn't fake a laugh. He didn't walk toward the stage like a professional. Instead, he turned and walked out. Not quietly, not backstage, straight through the ballroom, past the stunned crowd, past the blinking cameras and raised eyebrows. Out the door, just like that. What was supposed to be a triumphant appearance, a comeback moment perhaps, instantly collapsed into what many now call the royal storm out. No statement, no explanation, just a royal exit, without the royal respect. And whether it was pride, panic, or pure ego, that meltdown became the moment.
Act 4, the viral storm. As soon as Harry stormed out of the ballroom, the world went wild. Social media exploded, and nowhere more so than TikTok. Within minutes, clips of the meltdown were everywhere, sparking a tidal wave of reactions, jokes, and memes. One viral video showed a toddler, crown slightly askew, throwing a full-blown tantrum. The caption? Harry after not hearing HRH. It was savage, it was hilarious, and it captured the internet's mood perfectly. A prince acting like a toddler denied his favourite toy. But the memes didn't stop there. Another split-screen clip quickly went viral. On one side, Meghan calmly sipping green juice, serene and composed. On the other, Harry rage-walking away, storm clouds practically visible around his tailored suit. The contrast was striking. Her calm versus his chaos. Her control versus his outburst. It wasn't just a moment frozen in time. It became a cultural phenomenon. A meme, a movement. Celebrities joined in, comedians crafted jokes, and social media users created endless spin-offs. Every GIF, every looped clip, every snarky caption spread like wildfire. The meltdown wasn't just entertainment, it was a public spectacle, dissected and discussed across platforms. For Harry, this was more than a bad night. It was a viral storm, amplified by the power of the internet, turning a private frustration into a global punchline. Hollywood and the world beyond wasn't just watching, they were feasting. Act 5, Hollywood shuts the door. And then came the real fallout. The initial shock of Harry's meltdown quickly turned into serious consequences behind the scenes. Studio calls went cold. Meetings that had been scheduled for weeks were quietly cancelled or postponed without explanation. Dealmakers and executives started second-guessing collaborations. One producer reportedly summed it up bluntly. "You can work with divas or you can work with dukes, not both." That line hit hard because it wasn't just about temperament, it was about trust and professionalism. Hollywood values boldness, but it values stability even more. Harry didn't just lose the spotlight that night, he lost the momentum he'd been building since stepping away from the royal family. Instead of being seen as a visionary breaking free, he was now viewed as a liability, a headline waiting to happen, not a partner to bet on. The doors that once seemed open, they quietly started closing. Act 6, Meghan's strategic silence. And where was Meghan through all this? She was nowhere near the drama, not at the awards, not in the photos, not even in the same storyline. The official explanation from her team was a scheduling conflict. But insiders paint a very different picture. They say Meghan warned Harry not to push the HRH demand. She reportedly saw the gala as a networking opportunity, not a stage for royal posturing, but Harry insisted on the title anyway. When it all blew up in their faces, Meghan stayed quiet. She didn't step into the spotlight to defend him. She didn't make any public statements or social media posts. Instead, she stayed safely out of the blast zone, watching from a distance. Some say it was strategic, others say it was frustration. Either way, her absence spoke volumes in a night full of drama. Act 7, the final blow and public reaction. Meanwhile, the public had finally had enough. Sympathy for Harry and Meghan, once strong, began to evaporate rapidly. Polls flipped, supporters became skeptics. People who once championed their cause started questioning their motives. The obvious question spread like wildfire. You left the monarchy, you told the world you wanted freedom and a new life away from royal duties. So why are you now upset about not being treated like a royal? The disconnect was glaring. It became clear that Harry was caught in a confusing duality. You can't be the underdog fighting against an institution while simultaneously demanding the perks and privileges that come with it. This final blow wasn't just about titles or moments on a stage. It was about credibility, and the public wasn't buying what they saw. The narrative had shifted. Harry wasn't a rebel or a trailblazer anymore. He was, simply put, a man chasing status that no longer belonged to him. So now the question is, has Harry finally burned the last bridge in Hollywood? Or is there still time to ditch the crown and build real credibility? Let us know in the comments, because this spotlight isn't fading anytime soon.